We're Tailor, and we make something that all small businesses need: branding. But I'm here today because you wanted to learn about disruptive technologies. And what Tailor is about to do to the multi-billion-dollar branding industry is as disruptive as it can get. Now, if you ever opened up your own business, you probably know that a few of the first things you'll need are a logo, then some business cards, a website, some social pages, just about everything. But as of today, you're faced with two options. Either pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for online crowdsourced services, or if you're like most businesses who can't afford that, you end up doing something on your own and compromise for really low quality branding. The thing is, you're not alone. Over 80 million small businesses out there want branding, need branding, but can't really afford it. And this is where Tailor comes in. Tailor is a learning system that turns your computer into a graphic designer. Using thousands of design rules, from the simplest color circle to how fonts interact and what industry is using what style, Tailor is able to study your business and then design the perfect brand for it, allowing us to put an in-house designer in every business across the world for just 50 bucks. So, let's see how it works. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to ask my fellow co-founders, Tom and Adav, to work the online platform we have on the website, thetailorbrands.com. And boys, for the sake of the experiment, let's say my name is Josh, and I'm opening up my very own, let's say, review site called Product Grunt. And obviously, Tailor is going to need a little bit more information than this. So let's say that Product Grunt is a review site for bad reviews. And I'm looking for something that is simple, clean, but a bit grunge. Now, while Tom and Adav are inputting this information, Tailor already knows that half of the things you actually want, you can't really describe, which is why it's going to match all of the information we just gave out with a set of visual references. So let's see that. I'm going to take right over left. Let's take left over right. And Adav, give me the right one again. Now, Tailor has actually started designing your brand, but I want to take your attention and direct it to two things right now. A, we haven't paid a dime yet. The whole process is completely transparent, and no money exchanges hands until you're completely thrilled with your new design. And B, everything you're about to see is completely fresh. Tailor uses no templates whatsoever. And for every one user input, we currently estimate Tailor can generate 350,000 different design options. So, the moment of truth. Let's see what Product Grunt really looks like. Okay, three grungy, neat options. Now, Tailor is obviously going to continue on from here. It's going to add final touches, match a color palette. But I want to take you to the final product. And excuse me, but since we haven't finished this design, I'm going to use something we did this morning. So for 50 bucks, you have just received your very own logo, business card, letterhead, even your very own brand book, all ready to be printed out or shipped to any online or offline printing service. But this is not where the story ends, because Tailor is not just a design tool. It's a service, and it's going to walk with your company and design everything it can possibly need. Whether those are offline assets like a menu, a bag, an album cover, whether those are online assets like a website, an application, social pages. But even more than that, because Tailor is a learning system, and using the thousands of brands it actually designs, it can actually understand brand insights and trend insights and give that to you. We know that small businesses need services in order to be competitive with big companies. They can process their payments with Stripe, build their own website with Wix, and as of now, they can look as good as any Fortune 500 company with Tailor. The market, as we said before, is huge. The 80 million small businesses account for a $10 billion industry. And Tailor is well positioned to take over this industry. We believe great brands are crucial for a business success. And we want to make that accessible. So in the spirit of TechCrunch, we have just released 200 new promo codes for 80% off. First come, first served. Just go online, and you're more than welcome to use them. We are Tailor, and we are the next generation branding company. Thank you very much.
All right. Good job.
Sure.
Judges?
Awesome presentation. Oh, sorry. Awesome presentation. What other services do you plan on automating next?
So right now, we're basically offering you the basic package, logo, business card, letterhead, brand book. Throughout the year, we're going to add basically everything else you can design, you can think about designing. And then we're going to go through every service that a branding company would give a Fortune 500 company. So whether those are brand insights that tell you, okay, you just open up a coffee shop, right? I just designed 50 other coffee shops around you. They're all using organic cafes. I can tell you, hey, listen, let's add some organic themes to the brand, rebrand the entire brand that is on my system, and give you a whole new set of visual assets to work with.
Are you going to hook into the site's analytics to see so that you can feed back into the system?
So we're using a few things to do that. Basically relying on the information we take. We see what are the analytics, what do people like, what do they use, so on. And the second thing is basically scanning the web, seeing other trends, and so on.
Coming from London, and I'm sure you can speak for New York, I've actually seen a fair amount of sites like this. They might be a generation behind, but I'd be quite shocked if they weren't going in the same direction as yourself. So how do you really stand out from the competition?
So right now, if you look at the industry, you basically have two things. You have crowdsourced services, which are still very expensive, $500 for a logo. And then you have what we call dumb systems, which basically they study what you want, and then they go to the back, they take some templates that have been pre-made, and they give that to you because that's what matches. We design completely real time, and there isn't something that is quite like that. You don't get something that somebody else just got a minute before you. You get something that we just designed. If you're going to hit cancel and you're going to try something new, you're never going to see that design ever again.
So it's truly unique each single time.
It's truly unique. It's actually thinking.
I mean, look, I love what you're doing. I think it's super cool. It's a huge market. The challenge is at $50, you're going after new customers all the time. So you're going to end up in this customer acquisition mode that is a challenge. At $50, there's not a lot of margin left.
So two things here. The $50 is basically the acquisition price. We give you the basic branding, but you just got your basic branding from us for $50. You're a cafe shop. We can give you for an additional $10, $5, a bag, a menu, all of the other stuffs you need, right? And then the next stage would be to basically release the subscription-based service, which will allow you to do everything an in-house designer would give you. You're on for a presentation in a few minutes. Tailor can basically reiterate everything you need there and give it to you on the spot. On the market side, yeah, it's a huge market, and we're not going to knock $80 million door to door. There are a lot of services that are currently already servicing this community, printing services, website hosting services. We actually are partnering up with some of them. We're going to release that later this year. And basically what you're going to see is a co-branded version of Tailor as a widget. If you say you're going to design your own website, and then you see Tailor, you press it. Tailor designs your brand on the spot. We have a revenue share with that partner, and basically that becomes both of our clients.
So I would have loved to have seen you guys do something head-to-head with 99 Designs, and compare that live. It would have been amazing if you guys had beaten them, in quality design and never fit. But how do you test for scale? So let's say you're on your 10 millionth design, and everyone you're saying has to be unique. How do you test for that now to make sure that the designs you're producing are truly unique? How do you lock up designs you've already given away, since you're going to give that away exclusively?
So we like to think about it like this. Basically, if you look at the designer, he has 2 stages of learning. He goes to school, we teach him like the color circle, all the basic stuff. And he has like a range of designs he can actually make coming out of school. That's Tailor before he actually started designing. But then the more it designs, it actually learns more and knows about more designs it can make. So right now we're in 350,000 options for one. The more brands we design, we actually have more options. The other thing is uniqueness-wise. Even with the 1 to 350,000, the likelihood of you getting the same logo is basically I'm going to a designer here and somebody goes to a designer in Tokyo and they're giving you the same exact design. It rarely happens, but if you look at the process, we actually take your location, year, and so on, and we're going to use it as we proceed on and seeing how we need to diversify stuff.
Would you let me, have you guys thought about let people import like their 99 Design logo and kind of seeing if you can do a better job?
So,
our first step, I would say no. I think the biggest promise of Tailor is beautiful brands. And it's hard to me to promise you if you give me something that the system didn't create. So I'm sure our next step will be learning to use logos that people already have, to use their colors, how to use better their fonts, their typography assets, and really help them develop their brand if they like their logo they already have.
I mean, it'd be pretty amazing marketing if you could go to someone and say, hey, we'll see if we can give you a better design than your 99 Designs logo, and if we don't, obviously you don't pay us, but I think that's a really good way to attract some new.
It's more than that. You're completely right, because the second thing we're attacking, which is why Tom said it's definitely an objective, is rebranding. Right now, there are around 6 million new businesses every year, right, out of this community. But eventually, the idea would be, even if you already have a design, upload it to the system. Even if we're not trying to, produce something better, we'll just add rebranding touches, which is something that we're definitely are going for.
All right. So unfortunately, we're out of time. You guys did a great job. That was Tailor. Thank you very much.